This house has been there ever since I can remember, and from my earliest memories I gather it was taunting me, drawing my gaze, rattling around my thoughts. I have to admit, it was a pretty house. Actually, a house is too small a word for it. It was kind of like a villa. The exterior was painted salmon pink. It had huge windows and a beautifully shaped terrace. But there was something mysterious about it. It has been empty for years on end. It was said that the entire family disappeared in unknown circumstances. But once I heard it, I could not get it out of my head. I just had to get to the bottom of this. I had to unearth the truth. It was a day like any other when I noticed a commotion around the house. Something was happening. Soon, I found out that the house was sold and it will be demolished. Hell no, I thought. I have to go there, get inside, snoop around for a little while, and maybe find out what was so strange about this place. There was a voice in my head telling me not to go there, but I was fascinated by the house. I had to go in there. I chose a warm summer day for a visit. The place looked almost welcoming. It was now being guarded, which made things a bit easier. I really hated the thought of breaking in. The guard looked friendly, so I came up to him and asked if I could take a look around the house. He just nodded yes and showed the entryway with his hand. And there I was, in the house I have always wanted to visit. All my life I've heard stories about the house and the family that lived there. There were bakers, and wealthy ones too, but the funny thing is, there were only women. Obviously the family also included men, but they were invisible. The bakery was ran by women. There were 4 of them, one for each generation. The oldest was the one who started the baking business. She was a tough lady who did not stand any disobedience. She lived from her own work and she was not afraid to work hard. Her daughter was not much different, another woman of strong character in the line. Yet she did not want to work as hard physically as her mother, so she figured out a way to develop the business, in the time of her being the boss. The bakery started hiring people and expanding. Her main goal in life was to save her own daughter from having to work so hard. She was a spoiled child who had anything she wanted. And so the family lived on, with invisible men and tough women accompanied by a loyal maid and an old gardener. The child was growing up in the luxury of the villa. Once she turned 18, she got a car and would drive to school, which was only 15 minutes away on foot from her house. She was a strange child and later a woman. When she was playing outside as a child, she never invited any friends. She was constantly alone. Actually, when I think about it, I have never seen anyone visiting the villa. Neither did my mom or gran. They kept to themselves, only allowing the maid and gardener to enter the house. When I went there, when it was about to be demolished, I think I was the first person to visit the house ever since it was built. I was walking around the rooms when, at the very back of the house, I noticed a strange metal door. I tried opening them, but failed. No other door was closed in the house. It was still in my head when I was leaving, urging me to find out. I started with searching for the family, but it was like they disappeared from the face of Earth. People told me that they saw the youngest of the family and that she was pregnant. Others told me she had a daughter, but these were just stories from a couple years back, and no one has seen them since. It was by a mere chance I stumbled upon her. I was volunteering in a homeless shelter when I noticed a mature woman, whose younger version I knew from old photos. It took me several months before she trusted me enough to open up to me. Today, I wish she didn't. She told me about the family secret that was kept hidden for generations. It was her grandmother that started it. She wanted wealth, and although she knew how to be hardworking, she wanted more than she could earn herself. So she summoned a force that was bound to grant its master every wish. But forces like these are not easily tamed. To have a go at it, the family had to stay away from everyone who was dear to them. They built a separate room closed with metal doors, but the force's power was stronger than this. It was drilling into the very fiber of the family. At first the men stopped speaking, and then they became more like ghosts of themselves. The women had to fend for themselves to keep on the surface. It was a wealthy but hard life, impossible to the woman I was talking to. So once she became the last of her kin, she went out the door and wanted to never come back. Still, she survived a lot because she didn't want to be the part of family's conspiracy. So she was called a weakling and forced to stay away from everyone. All she wanted was a normal life for her and for her daughter, but all her experiences made her turn to alcohol. She was scared of the past, but also she thought that her family was cursed, and that every woman in this family was bound to make all the bad choices. She was simply scared for her daughter. I was looking at a woman, once beautiful, now broken. Her teenage daughter came into the room. I looked into her eyes. They were like made of steel, cold and hard, and I already knew her mother was scared for a good reason. This girl was up to no good.